Hello everyone, I am Artosis, and unfortunately, if you haven't read yet, Tasis just had to go to the emergency room. He's got an old rib injury that is feeling really bad right now. I was actually with him. We were in a cab on our way down to the studio. He started coughing, and he got his rib dislocated a long time ago. And he started coughing, and then he was like, ah! And so yeah, he's in a lot of pain. Wish him well on Twitter. He may or may not make it back here tonight. It's really hard to say at this point. Yeah, that's about that. So I am going to be casting alone probably for the whole show again, especially since it's a Zerg group. And there's a possibility that can go pretty quickly. I mean, we get enough aggressive Zergs in here. I see it ending pretty quickly. So we'll see. We'll see. So best wishes with Tasteless. And get ready to listen to me talk about ZVZ alone for a very, very long time. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be looking at production tab, be like, yeah, we're still looking at the production tab, still waiting for, a Baneling. No, they both made Banelingness, etc., etc. Anyways, let's take a look at yesterday's results. Kind of a surprising day. Innovation showing that he is, in fact, one of the best Terran players in the world. Really amazing play by him, except in the very first game, which was just kind of a little mistake. But anyways, Sniper with some pretty solid play overall gets out in second place. He did take out Parting's quote-unquote unbeatable immortal push. Parting played like total horse manure yesterday. I don't even suggest you watch any of Parting's games from yesterday. He did not play as good as he is. Parting, definitely one of the best Protosses in the world, but wasn't showing it. Polt played actually really well yesterday, but unfortunately it just did not go his way. Definitely Innovation and Sniper deserving to get out of that group. So, let's take a look. This is the round of 8 thus far. We have Creator against Hyun. Absolute sick match. Today's second place will be playing against Innovation, so that's pretty scary. The first place in this group is obviously already very good at Zerg vs. Zerg, and will be playing a Zerg against Sniper in the next round. And then, of course, we have Ryung against Marine King. That's going to be one of the best TBT matches I think that we could ever hope for here in the GSL. So, those are our matches for next week. It's going to be pretty awesome. And, of course, the winner of all these matches goes to Las Vegas for the GSL Round of 4 at IPL number 5, which, of course, myself and Tasteless will be at. Castle. So, I guess we should be looking in just a second at the players who are playing today. An absolutely insanely stacked group today. I don't know what to make of it. It's hard to predict. Well, it's easy to predict at the same time because it's got like 2 Zergs that just are at the top of everything right now. But at the same time, it's ZVZ. I really liked it when I saw it described as a knife fight. I don't think it's quite as much of a knife fight as it used to be before the Queen buff, but still definitely a little bit knife fighty in there. You can have some very quick games that literally are on the edge of a knife and someone just misreacts one time and loses. So, let's take a look. Here are today's matchups. We have Life, Soulkey, Leenock, and Symbol. Pretty sick, badass group. Life, best player in the world right now? I think so. Won GSL and MLG back-to-back. And we have Soulkey, hyped as a long time as the best player from Kespa. Well, now that we know that that's Rain, maybe Soulkey is the second best player from Kespa we might see tonight. Leenock. MLG is his tournament. He just got second place. He's won 2 of them. He's just killing everyone everywhere. He's so good. And of course, Symbol. One of the best looking Zergs in the world. But is he outshined in this group? I don't know. I don't know. This is like so... I can't actually predict this one. I guess most people should be predicting Life and Leenock, and I'm going to go ahead and just blindly predict that, but I would not be surprised with any combination of players getting out of here. I wouldn't even be too surprised with Life losing, because he normally likes to open up series by going down at least 1-2, sometimes 0-3 before winning. And the thing is, these are best 3s guys, so if Life tries that strat, he is out of here. Now, we do have the first map, Whirlwind, between Life and Soulkey. Life has a bloody nose. Okay. Producer was telling me bloody nose. I'm like, oh my god, do I have a bloody nose on camera? And I started wiping my face. That really happened. Anyways, he apparently has a bloody nose. You know what? It's probably just a seasonal change type of thing. It's getting really cold and a bit drier here now. So, you know, that can cause bloody noses. I know, I was a nerdy little kid. I used to get bloody noses this time of the year. So, anyways, big map in Whirlwind. It's going to make Roach timings a little bit less powerful, but then again, a little bit less predictable, which sometimes makes it more powerful in this matchup. So here we go. The countdown has begun. And we're going to get started here in just a second. In case you're just tuning in, Tasteless is in the hospital. His rib is dislocated. It's really sad. Hopefully, we get to see him again tonight. Hopefully, everything turns out well. And here we go, guys. The game is loading. It's almost fully loaded. I swear to God. And here we do it. This is the GSL Life going up against Soulkey. Zerg for Zerg action in the Code S with Artosis. Vegas. Right, over here in the bottom left of Whirlwind, he is the biggest badass in the whole world, even though he's probably the smallest pro gamer and the youngest. He is
Starting live.
And he has a bloody nose. Look at that, 9-1 in recent games. Pretty sick. And up here in the top left, he's a Zerg that's been hyped a lot as one of the best Kespa players. We'll see it tonight, I hope. He is
웅진 스타즈 Soulkey.
Soulkey, a Zerg that really in StarCraft 2 took off kind of after the StarCraft 2 beta. He took off in StarCraft 1, rather, his career after the StarCraft 1 beta was released. So that's, you know, if you're a really old school StarCraft 1 fan that switched over completely to StarCraft 2 as the beta came out, then you probably don't know him all that well. He was around a little bit, but really didn't hit his peak. So peaking recently in StarCraft 1 actually helps you out in StarCraft 2. It means you're really hitting your prime as a pro gamer. Now we do see Life going for pretty quick gas here with Bull against a hatch first. Now Soulkey is not going to be in any mortal danger here. You know, it's not exactly a rock, paper, scissors matchup like it was in StarCraft 1 ZVZ. But you can gain advantages. Like, for instance, if your opponent goes for something like a 10 pool and you go like a gas and 14 pool or something like that, you're going to get an edge on that because, you know, you're going to have your Zerglings out easily in time to defend, plus your tech a little bit quicker and a little bit better economy. Whereas here, it's like, well, yeah, he's getting his Zerglings out quickly and maybe he can get something done with speed, but his opponent's going to have the extra hatchery, and with his spawning pool coming up at a reasonable time, how much damage is he really going to take here in the early game? So there's definitely that possibility that Soulkey can gain just a little advantage through build orders here. So Life immediately thrown down a Baneling Nest. Now he's only got a little bit of gas, still mining a little bit, and he's making a lot of lings. Now I feel like he might want to attack in there with literally like 2 Banelings, because that's all you need if you're going to micro well here. He's not going to need a whole lot. Obviously, 1 or 2 Banelings is just going to give him a huge edge on the speedling count. He knows his opponent shouldn't have Banelings quite yet, especially since he started the speed here. But we'll see if he tries to stay pure aggressive here. He is making more lings. We'll see when the Slayer of Inject pops. If he goes for a lot more lings as well. Yeah, there's those 2 Banes I was talking about before. So he's keeping his economy pretty high while going for a quick Baneling bust. Now, there is a spine crawler coming up right now for Soulkey. He does have queens out. He's going to want to bring his queen from his main base down here immediately. He's going to have to use that to help block the ramp. That's a very important thing. Of course, you can target down banelings nowadays with that queen as well. The spine crawler, very important. He's got, oh, that's exactly what he wanted to get done with that. And he will take down this spine crawler pretty quickly. All right, so far, he's being somewhat effective. He is making another baneling here. Notice he's being not making too many banelings whatsoever, but Soulkey is getting that baneling as well. He's making a lot of lings himself. Oh, a nice surround there by Life. Soulkey definitely with a mistake there, letting that get surrounded. Now, even though he keeps killing off the spine crawler, these queens are getting enough energy for transfusion, so that's a big deal. It's going to be hard to break them. And in fact, he can heal the hatch up in a jiffy if need be. This is some really nice play by Life so far, but Soulkey is playing well enough that the game is not over yet. Okay, that baneling not as useful from Life. Starting to morph that spine crawler on the high ground. That's really smart of him. Maybe what he should have done with the second one instead of making it down there. And behind this, Life actually making a hatch. Oh! And now against these banelings, he's trying to micro as best he can. Oh! And they just kind of run by. And now, with the lings in the main, he gets to see what's going on. A lot of gas being mined. That's one thing he has to know. And, ooh, he only kills one drone. So that was a pretty reasonable defense there by Soulkey overall. And taking a look at the unit tab, Life has gotten ahead on drones, 22 to 18, but of course his hatchery isn't done yet. And there's 2 queens out for Soulkey as opposed to 1 for Life. So this is going to help him to get his production back in line, and Soulkey should be able to jump ahead, drone-wise, especially since he already has that spine crawl. He's not going to feel the need to necessarily make a lot of defensive units, but he always has the option to go for the counterattack because he does have all of this production that he knows that for now Life doesn't have. Now he is going in here for at least a little bit of an attack. Some really nice micro going on here with this baneling. And targeting down. Okay, kills that off with just a few. Doing a good job so far here. Has his banelings out. He's got to be careful with those. You have to be very choosy on what you're going to connect them with. And, all right. There's a lot of baneling dancing going on. Notice the queen trying to target down banelings as he can. Always having those banelings on move command as they should be. Ooh, Soulkey making a lot more banes here, sending down the rest of his lings as well. And he is going to get really, really aggressive. Well, we'll see how he does with those banes, because you're going to have to split them up a little bit so that your opponent's banes don't just kill you. And look at this. Oh my god, running some of these lings in and going right after the drones there. Life's going to have to be very careful. He doesn't want to lose too much. His baneling's all coming up, but not being all that efficient right now. And with a baneling getting in, this could be terrible. And, oh, please pause. All right. So, not exactly sure what's going on. I did hear that Life had a little bit of keyboard problems. Oh, no, this is a mouse problem. Okay. He's typing something about his mouse into the chat. So, anyways, you know, hardware problems, you just have to get that fixed. If your mouse is misfunctioning, you may have things happen. Hey, I'm over here now because I look at the game on this monitor. But you have to make sure that, you know, your keyboard and mouse and all your hardware basically is working just right, because if it's not, you lose. I mean, that's what you are in the game. That's like if you're playing basketball professionally and suddenly you look down and realize all your fingers are broken, you're like, oh, wait, my fingers are all broken. What am I doing here? I'm going to lose if I play with broken fingers. So kind of the same thing, a little bit. I don't know. All right, so they're just going to try to go ahead and fix that up. Just to take a look at what's going on in the game, because I still get to look at the tabs during this. We do have Life right now making a whole lot of Zerglings. Whereas behind this, Soulkey's making a little bit more banelings, but really droning heavily. And in fact, right now, he's up by 9 drones. So that's what I was talking about before a little bit. Now, he's killed off a few of Life's. So Life is down to 20. He has just now killed off a few. But the fact that he's at 29, he's droning heavily, and he's already on the offensive, like getting some harassment damage done. This is the nice thing about getting that hatchery up and not losing it to the aggressive start of Life. Even though Life did a pretty good job, he handled everything very well with that attack. The way that Soulkey handled it allowed him to get this more production up. And, you know, the macro mechanics of StarCraft 2 are so powerful, and in this case, the Zerg macro mechanics with those larva injects, having the additional hatcheries, having the additional queens, he gets so much larva that he can do things like, you know, once this aggressive build of life doesn't pay off, get his injects going, put on aggression and drone, and he can do it all. You know, you just do it in some rounds. You know, make a round of drones so you have a nice economy. Bam, your next couple sets of larvae pop out, make some lings, go start putting on pressure. Your opponent's going to have to use his smaller production, even though he has a good drone count at that moment, to try to stop that while you're droning behind extra much because you have that extra amount. So anyways, they are ready. Life is saying go, and we should be starting this again in just a second here. Just a second. Countdown has begun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go. All right. And we are back. And there we go. You see it now. All right. So right now at this moment, oh my God. Okay, well that's game. GG. Soulkey has taken out the champion. Basically, it's 13 drones right now to 37. Okay, we don't need to look at anything else that's going on, really. As far as unit counts go, 9 lings for life and 1 baneling. That's not enough to really do anything. Soulkey at home is making banelings. He realizes that he basically has this. In fact, he's even making more lings and a roach warren, because all he has to do right now is defend for the next, like, minute to 2 minutes, and life is not going to have many ways to catch up here. Soulkey can just slowly but surely tech up. He doesn't have to add too many more drones or anything. Life is trying to drone behind this, but right now it's 21 drones to 41, so a gigantic difference right now. That's just, oh, those were some money veins right there. Okay, so, I mean, we're going to see Life obviously still try to come back, because, again, ZVZ is a matchup that can, you know, balance on the blade, the edge of a knife, I guess, the edge of a sword, whatever you want to call it, the spinning tip of a bullet. You know, if, let's say, he got a huge baneling hit, like on all these lings, maybe that gives him enough to come back. Unfortunately for him, Soulkey gets into his main base. And, in fact, Soulkey going again for the drones! Oh my God, he just needs to leave the game. GG. You know, it was too much the first time, but you have to try to come back because there's always that possibility. The second time, Life's like, okay, no. I'm not going to waste any more time here. So Soulkey picks up game number 1 with some very, very strong play. He looked very good in that ZVZ. Of course, you know, some of it was in build orders. Life decided to get very aggressive. Soulkey did a great job defending against that. Did a very nice counterattack, morphing those couple banelings in the main base and catching Life. Feels like Life didn't realize for a moment that those banelings were there, so that obviously can be a big issue. Sometimes in the heat of battle, if you're microing multiple fronts, you miss the fact that they just quickly morphed a couple banelings in a certain location and they crawl in and kill you. I've seen it, I've felt it, I've played the Zerg, and that can happen. So I bet that surprised a lot of people that Life has even lost a game, because he's been on such a tear lately, such a ridiculous tear. I definitely wouldn't count him out or anything, but Soulkey looking very, very sharp. If anyone knows how to micro Zerglings, it is a player from StarCraft 1. And a Zerg player especially from StarCraft 1. You know, ZVZ in that game, for anyone who hasn't played it, it's completely Zergling based until you get to mutas. Those are the only units in the game for Zerg vs. Zerg. Nothing else ever works. There's nothing like the Roach. Hydras suck. Lurkers are useless. All that good stuff. So it's always like microing lings and trying to like get one ling ahead and stuff like that so that you could gain control. So he had some really good Zergling movements. I liked some of those times where he ran in near the Banes, runs around the mineral line, gets in the main, stuff like that. Really good moves there. So what map will Life choose? Well, that's really, really, really hard to say. There's a few ways you can go about it. You could try to like pick a map like Entombed where there's multiple start locations and get away with something on that because you're harder to scout. Or you might want to, if you want to do something cheesy, choose like the smaller map. It's going to be Daybreak. I don't think that this really affects it too much. You know, in other mirrors, you can see what they're going for a little bit easier from the map choice. In ZVZ on this current map pool, it's a little bit harder to be like, oh, he chose this map because of this. But Life might have chosen this map thinking, Daybreak is a map that you see a lot of people choose just because they feel that they're better. They're like, this is the map I play all the time. Let me play something I'm very comfortable with. So, it could be something like that, whereas he hasn't played Whirlwind as much, but, I don't know. It's hard for me right now to attribute a lot to this. So, in case you guys are just joining in, poor Tasteless has like a dislocated rib. He's in a lot of pain. He actually was at the GOM studio already and had to be driven down to the hospital. So, wish him well on Twitter. He's at CalmTasis. And we might end up seeing him again tonight. I'm not so sure, though. He's in a lot of pain, so hard to say. All right, so our next map, Daybreak, as mentioned before. Life is down 0-1 against Soulkey. We'll see how Soulkey does here. Will he be able to take out Life 2-0? How many Kespa players can we have in the round of 8? I'm actually so excited having these Kespa players in here. They're really pushing the Esports Federation players to their limits, and the whole level of Korea overall is going to go way up because everyone's going to have to practice more. It's awesome. This is the GSL Code S. Watching Life. Going up against Soulkey. I am Artosis. Tasteless.